Hello, hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Hello, Miss Lady. You know where you are. I see you. Oh, finally have no. Finally can figure out if I'm going or coming. Y'all, I don't know why I still do criminal defense. Well, I know why, but it's draining. It's draining. Oh Lord, have mercy. It is draining. Listen, the legal practice itself is mentally draining, but criminal defense, um, it is draining. Uh, and you have to deal with seeing very gruesome, like I'm not kidding you, like things that you literally will see on ID channel. Uh, hello, finest Shandy. Hello, that lady, finest Shandy. She is gorgeous. Oh my lord! I'm telling you, I'm not even listen, and I don't use that word loosely. I'm telling you, she is a gorgeous lady. Miss Giwa, yes. Yeah, I'm feeling very springy today. Yeah, Miss Giwa, I'm not wearing black today. See, although I had a black blazer because I can't obviously I can't wear this to court, so I had a black blazer on. Hello, Mr. Lumide. So yeah, you gotta. I'm in the South. Like, listen, I in the Silk Court. So yeah, my dear finest Shandy, you're just a beautiful soul and a gorgeous lady. Miss Kira, I'm going to be in contact with you hopefully by tomorrow. Now that but anyway, long story short, in the middle of the trial, client decided to take a plea. We didn't have a defense. We didn't have a defense. It was just thank you, Miss Chan, for understanding. I was feeling really naughty with myself. I didn't have a defense. I was like, oh, alone. How do I sit here and just not? It I do a lot of criminal cases, a lot, and charges range from as little as possession of marijuana to murder. Right? This was a murder case. But for whatever reason, this particular case, I was drained mentally. I think the depth of um the incident, yeah, there's only so much I can say, but sometimes even yeah. But anyway, uh I'm gonna have to deal with that and just really decompress and recharge. But anyway, hi everyone. So I'm glad I was able to make it today because I wasn't sure we're going to do live this week at all. But here I am. Hi everyone. Happy Tuesday. And since the last time you saw me, I have a high school graduate too. My kid, my child of excellence, my child of grace and honor, my firstborn child, the one who first made me a mother. And then Mother's Day was 2 days after / 21 years. And you people, some of you were not even born when I was called to the Nigerian bar, because someone was like, I was born in June 2002. I was like, until they come back with me. Like, yeah. And someone said I was just 5 years old. Like, I'll be damned. Like, y'all, last week of school, okay. So actually, my kids, well, this is officially the last week of school for TJ. So SJ already graduated Friday, but for TJ, this is supposed to be officially last week of school, but he was exempt from all his exams because he maintained a 95, at the minimum a 95 in all his classes at the end of the school year. And if you do that, then you'll be exempt from the second semester exams. So even though some of his classes are having exams through tomorrow, he's not doing exams. So basically, he's done with school. Thank you. So yeah, so knock on wood, thank you, Jesus. Um, and he decided to use my credit card to buy video games today when I was at work, forgetting that I have alert. Or let's just say he's suffering the consequences right now. Because I had to remind him, like, listen, kid, I'm not an American mother. Like, no, that doesn't it doesn't work. That he goes, well, I put the money in your desk. I don't care. I don't give two. You know what about your money? First of all, where'd you get the money? Either your daddy gave it to you, or your mama gave it to you, or it was a birthday gift. So your little broke ass don't get no money. Exactly. He was lucky that I was at work because it was a first of all he wouldn't even do that when I was home. I was like, well, your card is on my account. Well, it has to be on your account because it needed a parent who is at least so someone at 10 years or older because your little ass is 12. I was like, but I gave you the money. But like, you're missing the point and you've got to understand. So Laura Kansha he's grounded. If you want to argue with me as a Nigerian mother, you ain't gonna win. That's not gonna fly. It's just not gonna happen. So end of discussion. But anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Somewhere is long for you to stop by. So we know we've got camps lined up, but the audacity. Well, see, I'm 44, so I don't remember a credit card being available before I came to the United States. So there was no reason to even have my parents' credit card or anything. No, but let's assume. I'm thinking I'm wondering if my mom is on. Financially, no. Listen, I buy things for my kids. Well, I can't ground the 18-year-old. He's 18. The government says he's an adult. But I buy things so I can use it as punishment. That's the whole point. You know, you only know now. They call children's services only. I represent children's services in the state of Alabama, so I can't go to jail. So you got to get them where it hurts. Yeah, gotta get them where it hurts. But let's assume our parents had credit card. How many of you would have had the audacity to buy anything on your parents' credit card in Nigeria? I'll wait. I'll wait for all the lies you want to tell, because you're no, it ain't gonna happen. Thank you. See my gray hair? Yeah, they're gonna happen. But yeah, 44. Listen, I'll be 45 in August. So I told TJ, I was like, hey, I gotta tell people that I'm your older sister. And actually, I told both of them. My oldest kid, who is a very, very diplomatic kid, he was like, all right. He ain't gonna argue with you, just let you leave. And TJ, loudmouth TJ, said, well, I would have agreed with you, but the problem is your hair is gray. Go back some about TJ. That's my child. I can't even deny that child. He's got my mouth. We can say anything. He said, well, I would have agreed with you, but your hair is gray. So no one's going to believe me. And I'm like, where in God's name did this child come from? Like, tell him no more. Whose child is this? And his daddy was like, well, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Like, go figure. I'm just glad he's not a girl, because if TJ was a girl, I know God's got a great sense of humor. He'd probably be like me, and one of us would be in jail by now. Yeah. But anyway, let's talk immigration, people. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm an immigration attorney based in Alabama, but I represent immigration clients in all 50 states. Thank you. Family meeting on you dare put your hand in your mama's handbag, and your mom will put, my mom used to put a handbag anywhere. That handbag stays where it was. Who born you to put your hand in handbag? Like, you want to go my handbag? But anyway, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. For consultations, contact 334-341-4475 or visit 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕.com to schedule a consultation. I'm just reading what Illinois Sanctuary has put because she helps me out. You know, I love you, girl. If you are on TikTok, once again, 334-341-4475. Facebook and YouTube, y'all have it on the screen. Subscribe, share, follow all platforms. Just put in 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, and this salt and pepper head girl will be there. All right, people, let's talk immigration tonight. We are going to address this. If I get one more person call my office or send us a deal like Sisi lawyer Sorumpa, Florida immigration lawyer, Joe. Okay, if you want to know about this, y'all, do y'all know that I cuss a lot? I cuss a lot. That's why Timolishe Yao Pastor. So if anybody's trying to, let me just tell you, all y'all are sliding and sliding and slipping into my DM. If y'all are like pastors or youth pastor or music minister in church, y'all cannot date me because I'm not the one that you can take to church. Because if somebody looks at me wrong in church, I will cuss you out even in church. And then I'll tell Jesus, forgive me. I'm just saying. I mean, you know, they say first leave your own church, because I'm like, first leave, don't cuss it to buy. And he said, let's just leave it alone. I'm just letting you know. So, but what's the word I can use? The craziness with this new immigration slide out. Yeah, sliding and slide out because I love Jesus, but I'm still in the process of being saved. I'm just letting you know because you never know. I have a friend that whenever I call him and his kids are around, the very first thing he's like, hey, my kids are here. Before I even say anything, I already know, like, oh, just keep it PG wherever you go because you just never know. I just say it like, hey. I cussed out. I cussed in court yesterday, and I looked at it just like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm trying. I'm learning because, listen, it is what it is. But this craziness of this immigration law in Florida, let's talk about it. Let's talk about how does it affect, who does it affect, how does it affect you? What do you need to know? Should you not go on vacation to Florida? It's summertime. Most people, for springtime, and my kids and I went to Destin, so we go to Florida very, very often. What should you know? What can you expect? And who does it even affect? What exactly is this law about? So let's talk about that. I know we had put a post. I think Lydia put it up yesterday or today. I'm not sure. Yeah, yesterday, today, one of two. But let's address that. So hear me loud and clear, people. This new Florida law, basically, it was signed by the governor. I believe it was yesterday, May 15. It's been in the works. It's been tweaked. It's been pulled. It's been edited. It's been amended. But he signed the final version yesterday. Let me start by saying this, and I wrote some notes down because this is serious business. You need to know. You need to know. The more you know. First of all, this is only applicable to residents of Florida. Only if you live in Florida. Keep in mind that immigration law is federal law. So a state can tweak what they need to do as far as how they things that affect them statewide, but they cannot amend the Immigration Act itself because that is federal law. So this is only going to be applicable to residents of the state of Florida. It cannot extend to any other state because they have no jurisdiction and they have no authority to do that. Just so you know. So if you live in the state of Florida, you're undocumented, then this is something you need to know. However, if you're going to be working in the state of Florida, if you're going to be going on vacation in the state of Florida, anything that's going to make you have contact with the state as an undocumented immigrant, then that's how it may affect you. And the more you know before you make that trip, the better for you. So at the end of the day, this bill is geared politically because this guy, DeSantis, whatever he calls himself, he is running. He's already indicated that he's going to be running for president next year, right? Yeah, next year is election year. So he's going to contend with Donald Trump. We already know Donald Trump he's got a following. I will not be surprised if he wins again. That's just the truth. This guy is trying to garner as much followers and support, and actually more. And one way you can get people to vote, Republicans to vote for you, will be to address immigration issues. Because as far as they're concerned, Everyone who commits a crime in the United States has to be undocumented, has to be from somewhere. Unfortunately, that's that's some BS that we sell to them. But unfortunately, a lot of people do not take the time to do research and they just go with what they're being told. So this is all about politics, nothing else. Trying to garner those votes that are going to be people who are anti-immigrants and sell this to them that Florida is going to be safe. And if I'm going to keep Florida safe, then I can in turn keep the United States safe. This is all what it's all about. But here we are. This bill has been signed and it's going to be effective July 1st. So what do you need to know? Number one, you need to know, as someone who is seeking employment in the state of Florida, if you are undocumented and you don't have work authorization, if you try or attempt or apply to work with an employer in the state of Florida that has 25 employees or more, starting from July 1st, you will be required to submit proof that you are authorized to work. If you do not, or if the employer employs you without verification, so they're going to be required to use the E-Verify system. If they do not do that within 3 days of employing you and show proof that you are authorized to work in the United States, that employer can be fined as much as $10,000 per violation, and or actually have their business license terminated. So there will be steep penalties for employers in the state of Florida who will be employing people effective July 1st and who have at least 25 employees or more. So if you're a small business and you have, and they don't have more than 20 employees, those are people are not required. Now, I'm not telling you to go work illegal. I'm just telling you that it wouldn't be applicable to those. Okay, so that's that as far as employment side. And the problem with this is this. You have Florida where there are many immigrants in the state of Florida. Like the very first time I visited Florida back in 2015, it was the first time I went to, no, I take that back. 2012. When was TJ born? TJ was born 2000, he was born 2011. First time I went to, because it was almost born at 2011. I was still married to my ex-husband then. And I was telling him, I was like, why does this place look like we're in, New York or Africa? Because there's so much diversity. Now, it depends on where you go. We went to Orlando, so there's diversity there. But my point is, there are many immigrants in the state of Florida. You got to see Africans, Middle Easterners, Caribbeans, everybody's there. And so there are many people who are undocumented, but many businesses like farmers, construction industry, warehouse, factories, they rely a lot on undocumented immigrants. That's just the truth, right? So basically, these kind of companies who obviously employ more than 25 people will be greatly affected. This is something that's going to even backfire against the states. Florida is one of those states where people don't pay state taxes. I should move there. I wanted to move there, but now I ain't doing that. But this is something that may even require higher sales tax or whatever the case may be, because if people are already leaving, because if I'm going to be afraid to leave in the state, I'm probably just going to move somewhere else. So these businesses will suffer, and that's just the truth. So that's that with businesses. Then we have hospitals. If you, as an undocumented immigrant, goes to a hospital effective July 1st in the state of Florida where they accept Medicaid. Now, this is not about private pay. If you are going to a hospital, not that you use Medicaid, as long as the hospital accepts Medicaid generally, meaning they have state funding, right? Then this new law will require those hospitals to collect information from undocumented immigrants that come for health care. This is ridiculous. If you as an undocumented immigrant goes into a hospital where they accept Medicaid, because that is state funded, they will be required to provide information to the healthcare administration of the state of Florida about the number of undocumented immigrants that come into the hospital for care. Now, federal law prevents them, HIPAA law prevents them from releasing your information, health information, name, whatever, without authorization, without consent. Let's be clear on that. But it's just about driving fear into people. Imagine this. You're undocumented, right? You're sick. You go to a hospital that, is state funded somehow because they accept Medicaid. And you're told you've got to submit information, whether or not you are lawfully present in the United States, whether you're a citizen, a legal permanent resident, or you have some legal status. The fact that someone is being asked that already creates fear in you, because you're not thinking, well, you cannot give my medical information without my consent. That's not the first thought. You're thinking, okay, where is this information going to go? How are they going to use it to pull my record? Hi, Epic. Are they going to use it to pull my record? How? Because it's a U.S. government will get your information from anywhere, right? It's the same scenario with some people who, abuse cases where you're being abused at home, but because you're afraid to go to the police station to report your spouse for fear of you being reported to ICE, you don't go. It's going to create the same fear with this situation where you go to the hospital, they're asking you for your status. And even though they cannot transmit your personal information, it's just the data, but they want to use it to know how often are people coming into the country, into the state of Florida undocumented, but also use it as a way to make you afraid, where you either do not go to seek health care or you leave the state entirely. That's the whole point. They want to drive immigrants out of the state of Florida. This is just an avenue to do that. So you're not thinking, okay, they wouldn't use my information. You're thinking, what are they going to do? Is ICE going to come get me based on this? So this is ridiculous. This is, for an immigration attorney, it doesn't even get me started. But let me just give you the information. So it's going to affect employment, employers. It's going to affect employment. It's going to affect businesses that rely heavily on undocumented immigrants. It's going to affect healthcare. But here's another thing. If you so normally, and I think correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, there's some that many states have that, California being one of them, where you can actually get a driver's license with just your receipt notices. You don't even need an approval. You don't need, just need to show that you have something pending with USCIS. I have cases where I have clients who live in the state of California who actually were able to get driver's license with a prima facie determination, with receipt notices, easy. New York is another state where undocumented immigrants can get valid IDs, state ID, driver's license. Here's what's going to happen with this new bill in Florida. Organizations are going to stop issuing driver's license or ID cards to people who cannot show that they are U.S. citizen, that they are legal permanent residents, and or they have some valid status or authorization to stay in the country. If you're not able to show that, then you cannot get an ID in the state of Florida. Let's even go even further. Really ridiculous. Just as you have some states that allow you to use to get IDs or driver's license, even if you're undocumented, even if you don't have anything pending with USCIS, whatever case may be, if you present that valid ID in your state, if you present that ID in the state of Florida, that now, if you're unable to show that you are a citizen, permanent resident, or have a pending case, immigration case, valid case, that ID will not be recognized in the state of Florida. And based on that, they can actually call ICE on you because you have no papers. It is bad. Let's call it spade a spade. It is what it is. It's something. So you cannot, you will not recognize your out of state ID if you cannot prove your legal status and or your authorized status in the United States. There's a whole lot more to this immigration bill, but those are the points that I feel will affect us. So if you're traveling, for instance, how does it affect you if you don't live in the state of Florida? Example would be if you're traveling to the state of Florida. You're going to be in that state. If for whatever reason you have to show your ID and you don't have any pending case. Now, let me say this. If you have a case pending with USCIS, then that is technically an authorized state. Now, and I use that phrase loosely, and here's why. There is nothing that authorizes you to stay while you have like a pending adjustment of status, but it is, because USCIS doesn't give you anything. But because you have that pending case, you're able to show your receipt notices that you have a pending case with USCIS that is still ongoing, it's not been denied. And based on that pending case, you're able to get a work permit, you're able to get an advance parole, and you provide those documents so you can get a valid ID, a state ID, or a driver's license. If you have an asylum case pending, your asylum receipt notice specifically states that you're authorized to stay. That would work, and that would give you a basis to say, I'm here, I'm authorized to be here, so you would not be affected like someone who doesn't have any paperwork at all. So let me say that. But if you're not in any of those groups, you're traveling in the state of Florida, you have to present your ID. It's not something that's accepted. God forbid you're stopped by ICE, and they see you don't have any status. And now because they're going to be in the state where they are allowed to do that check, if you cannot produce any proof that you are authorized to stay or you have a status, then that is basis for them to issue you a notice to appear in immigration court. It is just, no matter how you cut it, it just is not looking good. All of this is just politics. I don't know where this guy is from. And the funny thing is, people like that are those that if you go to their houses or their ranch or their property or whatever, their acres of land, people like that are those you would find that employ services of undocumented immigrants. And that's just the truth. But here we are in 2023 in the United States, and it's still a war against immigrants. So now that you know what it's about, I'll probably just put the link up. So if anyone's interested in going to learn more about that and seeing what it entails in full, you can. But I read it and I said, let me just pick out those that would affect us. Let's see. I want to make sure there's nothing else. So that's basically it, people. So the more you know. Yeah, they do. Listen, I see it where I live. I see where I live. Come on, like it. Let's just leave it as that. But that's what's going on. So if you're going to have any dealing with Florida, just be careful. Hello, God bless child. How are you? So this kind of thing just gets under my skin. And one of my colleagues was telling me Abby, you're so passionate about immigration. Like I said, it's hard to explain to someone what it feels like to be an immigrant, what it feels like to drop everything in your country and start all over. And I was telling the person, see, if I told you that I worked at a mall with a law degree, not even a law degree, like a licensed attorney, worked in the mall when I first came to the United States. But guess what? It wasn't shameful. I did it with pride and with grace, because I knew that was not my final destination. That wasn't my final bus stop. It was just a way, a stepping stone to get to where I needed to be. And I say that to say this, we start from scratch and we keep grinding. Don't want nothing. I cut myself. Don't want nothing from the U.S. government, because we as immigrants, we got too much pride to be asking you to give us crumbs. No, but we don't mind starting if we have to scrub toilets, and we don't mind it because we know where we're going and we're going to work with it. A dollar is a dollar is a dollar. So it's hard to explain to someone who doesn't understand that. That's why for me, listen, take this however you want to take it. it's hard for me to empathize with anyone who has lived in this country, has had all the opportunities. Now, I understand there's oppression, I understand there's racism, and I understand all of that. But if you don't have any of that deterring you, and you don't take advantage of the opportunities you get in this country, come on. I can't, it's just hard to understand what your problem is. But because for instance, my mom went back to school at the age of 50. No, I just couldn't. I'm just, that's just me. I just don't see the excuse for it. But you can't understand the plight of immigrants unless you walked in our shoes. And so for me, even though I may not be, obviously not affected with this, but knowing that I've been in that situation where I didn't have papers, and just knowing that I couldn't get a lot of stuff, or am I going to go back to Nigeria, or how is this going to work? My change of status is pending. When am I going to get the green card? People cannot understand that until and unless you have gone through that. Like I always say, you cannot sympathize with someone that you haven't been in their shoes. You can empathize with them, but when someone has had a similar experience as you have, then you can't say, yes, I can sympathize with you. That's just the way it is. But that's all she wrote, people. That's all she wrote. All right, let us get to questions. Let's start with hello, Miss Chrissy. How are you? Hello, Miss Lydia. How are you? Thank you, Miss Chrissy. Hello, Miss Murther. I hope all you wonderful mothers had a wonderful Mother's Day. I hope you had a great day. Wait, hold on. SJ. I need to read what my kid wrote. Yeah. Well, once again, if you're just joining us, this is Attorney Olaleye, immigration attorney representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you need to consult with us and discuss your immigration case, 334-341-4475. Give me the card you gave me for Mother's Day. 334-341-4475. www.olalayelawfirm.com. You can text us at that same number. Go on the website, email us, call. Same number on WhatsApp. I have a good support staff that will get you the right information that you need. So we got you. We got you, people. Thank you, kid. For you too. Okay. So let me share. I won't read everything. I'm just going to share a little bit. This is from my high school graduate. Because sometimes we think we're hard on kids, but they may not like it, but sometimes it works. Okay. Thank you for support. This is from SJ. Thank you for supporting and encouraging me every step of the way. I appreciate you being hard on me. If it's Lyle, it's working. It's good. Financially, it's going to work in TJ, so just leave it alone. It's going to work in TJ too. I appreciate you being hard on me, even with minor things. It has really paid off in the long run, and I'm so thankful to have a mom like you. So I'm not going to read the rest because I'm probably going to cry, but it was like, listen, because sometimes as mothers, we are always doubting ourselves. Am I too hard? Am I doing enough? Do I need to go to work? From my work, is my child suffering? If I miss this, it's a whole lot, right? But things like this just make you know, okay, you're doing your best. And then, given I'm divorced from your dad. We've been able to do this partnership thing in spite of, but for me, because I always say, and I do family law, and I represent mainly men, and that's by choice, because I don't get the whole thing that, let's call it spade a spade. Women would do that a lot, using the kids as a weapon. They do financially. They may not care for what is going on at that time, but they do. But I made a conscious decision 5 years ago when I got divorced that I got divorced from their dad. My kids did not divorce their father. There is nothing about what happened in the marriage that is any of their business at all. And it should not be. So it would be a shame as a mother to say, hey, your dad doesn't. No. If you ask my kids, why did your parents get divorced? They'll probably tell you, well, they were fighting a lot. Nothing else. That's it. because that's all they needed to know, because that's what it's up. But that's why we needed to change that. But as far as the intricates and what's going on, no, there is absolutely no reason. There's no reason why their minds to be poisoned towards your dad or poison towards their mom. No, because by the time your kids tell you, and Esther said this, that sometimes I actually forget you guys are divorced. And the day he said that, I was like, wow, that says a lot. And I told them, I'm like, hey, good job, partner. I mean, hey, I may not be able to stand your ass, but at least I'm telling you. Thank you. No, thank you. So, but I read that, and he went on, and I was like, you know what? It's not bad after all. Like, yeah, Jill bad little man, because my mom was like, yeah, Jill. It's okay. Like, okay. So one down, one to go. Pray for me. Pray for me with TJ. I want that's what TJ would challenge anything. Like what? Why? Where? Who? Yes, Miss Creasy. Yeah, that's what happens when you do things you're not supposed to do. You get consequences in my house. Like I told him earlier on, I'm not an American mother, so don't. I think you got it twisted this morning. Don't get it twisted again. No, we ain't doing that. So let's yeah, let's recharge and remember. And tomorrow's another day. So let's see. Ain't doing that. I'm not doing it. I ain't doing it. Hello, Miss Pamela. How are you? Love you back. My green card filing started in 2020, but it turned. Let me, close this out since we're done talking about this Florida thing, and then let's go back. Okay, my green card filing started 2020, but it turned into VA. 2021, my case started over. Actually, the first final year should be counting on the basis of my lawyer said because he's a U.S. citizen. What's the rest of it? Another green card holder, it won't happen. Is that true? It's not about. So, and I think this is where it's where the confusion comes into play. Someone being a green card holder or citizen, priority date matters as far as when you are able to file for adjustment of status. That's where it matters. However, the priority date on your previous I-130 matters in your VA petition, and it's specifically stated on USCIS.gov website. I'm not really sure why that's confusing for some attorneys, and that's the truth. The priority date will matter whether or not he's a green card holder if you're able to file your I-485, because if it's not current, then you have to wait until it's current. Being a citizen, you're an immediate relative, you don't have to wait. But where it affects the VA petition is because it's not about the 485, it's about the petition itself, which is a standalone petition that does not require you to wait until it's current. Is because you have filed an I-130 before, you can get your case approved faster because that priority date, meaning the date that the I-130 was filed, will be as if you had filed the VA petition on that date. That's the difference it makes. I hope I'm making sense with my explanation, because that's the only way I can explain it. But because you're not the first person to tell me that. Someone I represent with his wife, but things happened, so I had to refer him to another attorney. And then he emailed me back and said, "Hey, I've heard you say this isn't it," but the attorney says no. Like, well, that's what the law says. But if she says no, I can't. I'm not gonna argue with another attorney. To each their own. But if you guys want me to send you the link where it specifically states that, I will. That's what it is. So I hope that explanation makes sense. Do you know how long removal proceedings, BIA appeals, usually take for responses? I don't. Hello, Miss Ayodele. How are you? Hope you've been keeping well. Okay, let's go to. Let me go on TikTok. Keeping moving with prayers. I love that username. Can I adjust status by married to a citizen if I worked without permission? No false citizen claim. Yeah, that's usually exempt. Now, disclaimer, generally it is exempt. Nothing specific to anybody's case, general information. That's it. Okay. Let's see. My lawyer told me after I-45 interview, he will give decision in few days. Now it's 2 weeks, no decision. The lawyer doesn't have any control over when USCIS makes a decision. We don't, and that's the truth. We don't. We can find ways to help you out, see, refer you to contact USCIS, ombudsman inquiry, congressional assistance. If all else fails, well, demand letter. If all else fails, sue them. But we do not have control on us on how long it would take. We just can find ways that you can get things done. But how long does NVC take for K1 after the approval? I'm not seeing anything more than 6 months. So, and it just depends on the embassy. What about if USCI sent you a letter to send your letter to send to, okay. If USCI sent you a letter to submit your medical and affidavit of support, what does that mean? It means to submit your medical and affidavit of support. Okay, let's see. You don't have to put the questions like 200 times. It doesn't matter. Anyway. Let's see. Okay. Can my dad, as a permanent resident, adjust my status since I'm already in the U.S., or he has to file I-130? Well, you can adjust status firmly based without an I-130 to start with. So, yeah. But then the question really is, can your dad is not going to adjust your status. You're going to apply to adjust your status based on an I-130 filed. Then the question is, are you in, you are definitely in preference category. Are you, is it an F2 A, or what is your category? Are you a minor child, unmarried, over the age of 21? Because you can't be married, and if he's just permanent resident, he can file for you. So those are things that go into that. Oh my God, Ghanaian wife. When was that? Y'all have heard me talk about Ghanaian wife and husband. So she lives in Alabama too. So they transferred their case from Ghana to, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Senegal or Sierra Leone. One of those asked something, and he has received his immigrant visa, and he is. I'll be damned. Okay, I'm trying not to scream because she's been, oh my God. Yeah, I'm from Miami, and I know it's a mix of every culture. Okay, I'm trying to see. Okay, I'm trying not to scream. Ghanaian wife, when was that? Why is NBC taking a long time to give an interview? It's just try to. That's what Ghanaian wife did. So look into transferring your case file to another embassy, because that may make it go faster. You may be lucky to get a place where, but there are some requirements. So just look into that and see what that country would require you to do. Congratulations. I'm really trying not to scream because I probably would scare everybody. Oh my goodness. It's been, how long has it been, Ghanaian wife? How long has it been? When you get married, how long does it take to get a work permit? We're seeing, there's no rhyme or reason with USCIS, but be prepared for as much as a year. But then you can get lucky for as little as 3-4 months. It just doesn't. But USCIS.gov /processing times. will be your best bet. Does this bill affect other states? That was the very first thing I said. It's just specific applicable to the state of Florida. It's not a national law because they can't. And um, the only group of people who can make anything that's going to affect everyone is the Congress, because immigration law is federal law. Okay. He knows you do with love. Yeah, talking about TJ. Yep. Listen, I tell my kids all the time. I tell them, I'm not your friend. The time for friendship will come when you have your degrees. And yes, degrees. You got a job. You're on your way to doing well, and I'm not taking care of you. We can be friends at that point. Even it's still with very there's some reservation. Or I am not your friend. When it came to the U.S., like if people want to be friends with your kids, why? What is it? You don't have adults that can be friends. Well, you can be your own best friend. I'm not friends with my kids. Why would do friendship? T, right? Your mama reminds you we're friends.
No, you say. Yeah.
Oh, because I say whenever when I'm serious about something, like get out of here or something, I'm talking to my friend, right?
Mhm.
Oh, so anyone grew up in Nigeria where my dad used to say that a lot. Where you're really serious about something, you're like, whoa, my friend, just me about something. So because I always tell them, this kid, because I always say we're not friends, and then he goes, but if you say we're not friends, why do you say, come over here, my friend, or something? I'm like, how do you explain to this kid that it's a Nigerian thing? How do you explain it like it's a Nigerian thing? Like, yeah, but anyway, yeah. Congratulations, Ghanaian wife. So, can I go to Florida when my I-45 based on marriage is pending? Yeah, so that's one of the things I explained, that as long as don't go without proof that you have something pending. So, meaning you have your receipt notices. If you have your work permit already, take that with you to show that you were issued that based on your pending case. Yeah. I'm about to get married. What's the process of getting a green card? Sit down with the lawyer and discuss your case. Submitted medical RFE a few days ago. When can I expect a decision? You can contact your CIS. That's very subjective. Can I apply for N400 while waiting for a 10-year green card? If you qualify or you're eligible based on 3 years or 5 years, yes, you can. If you are in love with a younger guy than you and get married and you're going to question your marriage, age should never be a factor. It can be a red flag if there's like 30-year age difference, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? It is not a justification for them to deny your case based on, you can actually appeal if your case is denied solely based on age difference. But I'm smiling because I'm smiling because oh, well, anyway, let's just leave that alone. Talking of younger guy, I'll just leave that alone. Okay. Do you help with cases that are already at MVC? It just depends on what stage you're in. If you're looking to expedite, no, we don't. Ghanaian wife, I'm waiting for you to let me know. Let me see. Trying to see if she came back. No. Oh, Sierra Leone. Okay. Oh, just today. Congratulations. Oh my God. You've got to come down when he gets to. So is it coming to, he's coming to Tuscaloosa, right? Or are you going to go and then he's gonna, that won't make sense. But here, listen, whose coins is it gonna be? What is the plan? How soon is it coming? Oh, thank you for sharing. You said you're gonna come back and share. That is awesome. Can I change from J1 to H visa? First of all, you have to make sure you're not subject to the home year residency rule. So if you're not, then nothing stops you from changing your status. I'm an aspiring immigration officer, and I just want to say I appreciate you for this live sessions. Thank you. But you're going to be working for USCIS? Just asking. Um, let's see. Kenyan, what? That is amazing. So they transferred their case file for those who were waiting on that at the embassy, NVC level where you've been documentary qualified. They were waiting as well, and they transferred his file from Ghana to Sierra Leone. So you may want to look into that. And I think it was under a period of 4 months for from transfer and getting his interview date and not getting approved. So that's something you guys can look into. Can you represent someone who has asylum case? We can, but I usually do a record review for request before I take on any case because that determines whether it's a case I'm going to take or not. I just don't take on the case that has already been filed. Okay, let's go to Instagram. What's the time? 10. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Y'all have heard me shout a whole lot about Finest Shandy. I'm telling that lady is gorgeous. Like listen, I'm all about, celebrating my fellow sisters and just all in all of your glory and gorgeousness. She is just amazingly beautiful. Let's see. Okay, let's see. And my baby, just leave him alone. He'll be fine. The other one that survived, my kids told me one time, like if they can survive being my kids, that they believe they can survive anything. I think it's exaggerated, but listen, even if it's not, it is what it is. Deal with it. It is what it is. Oh, I need a whole lot of Jesus each day. Like I always wake up with good intentions. Like I literally wake up and say, you know what, I ain't gonna cuss nobody out today. I'm gonna just speak it because I wake up, I do my devotion, and really I do. And my plan each day is not to cuss anybody out. But then somehow I want somehow on your shama wow you by force, by hook, by crook. Like just minding my own darn business. Someone's gonna say something. And I was like, okay, what the yeah. But for the most part, who are undocumented people? So they call us what they like to refer to us as is illegal aliens. But the politically correct phrase would be undocumented immigrants. So basically, you do not have any status, that you don't have, you're a citizen, you're not a green card holder. Now, it's the argument can be made like if you have a pending case, does that make you undocumented? But when it comes to documented, meaning you've got a status still. But that's just the term used to describe us. But that's what people call us. That's what Jesus calls us. Can a U.S. naturalized citizen get dual citizenship in another country and keep U.S.? That's very subjected to the country. Like I'm Nigerian. Nigeria doesn't care if you become a citizen in U.S. Look on, like that's your business. But there are some countries where once you become a U.S. citizen, you automatically renounce your citizenship. But that's something you'll have to find out from that country. Hello, Epic. How are you? Wait, I know we've emailed back and forth, but we got you. Okay, let's see. Miss Eleanor Sanchez, we're missing a Dana this evening, right? Where's Miss Dana? I haven't seen her this evening. It just occurred to me, like, no. Florida is a no-go state for now. I don't blame you. Hey, where's Miss Dana? Does this affect individuals working in Florida on an OPT? No, I mean OPT is that's a valid status. You are in valid F status, and you OPT is your work permit. So you have work something to produce that you are in a lawful status. Yes, stepping stone. The goal remains the goal. Better believe it. Let's see. Who's cutting onions here? No, nobody, nobody. It's just, yeah. Well, across the street, my neighbor and your neighbor. That's why our eyes are watering. Um, motherhood is just. Listen, no offense, and I know there's some dads who go as hard as mothers, but truth be told, for the most part, mothers are the ones who raise the kids. And growing up in our culture, if the kid turns out good, that's his father's child. Even though you raise the kid, if the kid turns out bad, then he's your child because you raise the kid. Either way, you can't win. But one just has to just do the best and pray. At the end of the day, it's just all about prayer, just committing them in God's hands. Like, God, teach me how to do this, and teach me how to do this, because the way you were raised may not necessarily be the way you want to raise your kids, or you have some things you take from that, but then you want to try some stuff. It's a whole lot. Everyone's got to figure out what works for them as a mother. And I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day, because we are just an amazing group of humans. Like, there's nothing. Men doesn't compare. It is what it is. There's just no debate about that. You know. Um, let's see. Okay. It's that one job that you don't have instruction manuals. You're just going to take it a day at a time. Did TJ get your card? He did. He did. He did. TJ's card is funny. TJ got me a card that is true TJ fashion. Like I always say, I love my kids equally, but I love them differently because they speak different love languages. If that makes any sense, yeah. So, but TJ go. He won't give me a card that you wouldn't have heard. No, listen, he probably would have been grounded since Sunday. Like, you already said, I bet his own will read different. Let me put it this way: TJ is the life of our family. You cannot even. I just don't even remember life without TJ. TJ is. He makes life interesting. And he's gonna do something that's gonna drive you insane, like, but that's TJ. That's how TJ is the life of the party now home. What can I do when my asylum case has been pending since 2017? You're not the only one. I have cases pending since 2007, to be honest with you. How long does it take? You can request for them to expedite if you have humanitarian reasons to ask that. How long does it take to get an interview from the Nigerian embassy for an immediate family? Forever. Let's see. If you overstay your B1, B2 visa, can you apply for adjustment of status? Depends on what category you fall within. When and how do you apply for travel parole? Talk to a lawyer if you don't know. Can a green card holder married to a U.S. citizen file for their appearance? Are you asking if you, as a green card holder, can file for your parents? If that's your question, no. If you are granted prosecutorial discretion, are you still eligible for work permits? You got to have a basis to be eligible for that. What did you have pending? What is the PD for? Is it admin closure? Is it termination? Those are questions to ask the lawyer who helped you in the case. Y'all cannot be afraid, because I got a lot of people who have lawyers already and they want a second opinion, and vice versa. You can't be afraid to ask questions. If you have a case and you're paying someone to represent you, it is important that you know exactly what is being done on your behalf. Ask questions. You have a right to ask. Let's see. TJ needs to this vacation in Nigeria. I need to take my kids to Nigeria. Don't judge me now. Don't judge me. I need to take my kids to Nigeria for real. So they can just even know what. I've got some good news, sis. What is going on, Mr. Taiwo? Email me. Okay, can you still get after filing I-589? When will the E80 and SSN be ready? Did you file for it? It's Folu Abiola. Did you file for your E80 already? Because it's not something you get automatically, but you have to wait 150 days before you can file your E80. Can you still get E80 if your asylum case is removed from court based on prosecutor's discretion? Okay, if it's been terminated, then that's it. If it's administratively closed, then that's different. Because you can't date a younger guy. Well, so let's just say I called somebody a kid, because really, if I'm 10 years older than you, you're a kid. To me, this is really nothing. Now, don't for me. Don't come for me, because they're like, sister lawyer, there are a lot of men who are like 34, 35 that are really wiser than me. First of all, it's been scientifically proven that a man and a woman of the same age, that woman is about 10 years wiser. That is just the truth. It is scientifically proven. So if you're now 10 years younger, let's just leave that alone. Yeah. Flying to him next week, then flying back together. Y'all need to come to my office. If you don't come, I'm going to be really mad. Like, we've been on this journey together indirectly, right? Does the fee you pay for an adult I-130 cover your minor child? Every I-130 depends. If you're filing an I-130 for a preference category and that person has a minor child, then you don't have to file more than one. You only file one, and the person derives status from the principal applicant. If you are filing for immediate relatives because you're a citizen, everybody is going to have separate I-130s, and everybody's going to pay their own separate fees. When you're in the marriage for 5 years and you have green card for 3 years, but they have not sent your 10-year green card, the person file for citizenship. If you're filing based on marriage and you've been in the green card for 3 years, then you can't. If you're no longer living with the person, there's no marital union, then you would have to wait 5 years since becoming a green card holder. Yeah, where's Miss Sabina? I haven't. Got my green card through marriage, but asylum is pending. Can I travel to my country? First of all, I would say go ahead and withdraw your asylum application, because it's moot at this point. But secondly, even if you withdraw it, no, you cannot, because you're still a green card holder. Even though you're not getting your green card through asylum, you just don't want to risk that. Okay, let's see. Can I get a state ID in Massachusetts? I don't know about that. You're going to have to find out about that state. Can a student sponsor you for a green card if she is a citizen? Sponsor you in what category? As a spouse, as a parent, as a son or daughter, or what? I'm needing help with the K1 visa process. Contact our office if you need to talk, discuss and evaluate your case. 334-341-4475. Okay. All right. That's all I can take for tonight. Can I file vow even after I did my 2 years green card interview with my spouse, but been waiting a year, but nothing? You did your 2 year green card interview. So do you have a 2 year green card already? or you're just about to get the 2-year green card. That's Adiram, that's very, very confusing. Hello, Mr. Narius. How are you? Oh, 334. Okay, thank I knew she was gonna do that. There you go. Illinois Sanctuary has you covered. So there you go. Thank you. Oh, you don't have any, so you haven't received any. So consult with a lawyer, see what your options are. So you haven't received the first one, and if things have changed, then you want to know where you stand. Okay. So is it possible to switch over to a VAR case? Yes, but I always caution when you've been waiting for so long, and try to do like inquiry, ombudsman request congressional assistance first of all. Unless you're no longer living together, things are not just good, then you don't want to take the risk of USCIS visiting your home and concluding that was a fake marriage. Okay, I was just about to say that I just answered your question on Instagram. I really appreciate that, because y'all, some people actually sign on multiple platforms, and I do not take that for granted. Thank you, Miss Chrissy. You as well. I don't take it for granted. Y'all are very, very supportive. I know we share a lot of information, and I'm glad that information helps. And if it helps one person, that's a lot of people have quite a number of people who would email me or just text and say, "Hey, Cecilia, I didn't retain your services, but I had a consultation with you, and you wouldn't believe how much I was able to get done just from the consultation, or I've just watched your videos and I was able to do this on my own." So it's really, really rewarding and fulfilling to know that. But and those who they've tried it on their own and they retain our services and things start to move quickly, not because I got any superpowers, no, but because I know that God's favor goes with us, and we just we intercede and we plead the blood of Jesus, or that's my religion, that's my faith. But hello, Miss Adibone, how are you? All right. But anyway, thank you all for joining. Thank you for the support. I don't take it for granted. My the one thing I know I teach my kids each day is there's nothing that nobody owes them anything. Everything you have is a privilege and by grace. It's a privilege because it's you, besides what experience were mandated by law to provide to you, they have to live with a heart of gratitude. And both my boys are they're and thank God there are kids who know that our parents work hard and do the best for us, and we cannot take that for granted. Now we're still working at TJ, because let me put things in perspective. So when Esther was born, I was a stay-at-home mom, and their dad was still in residency. So we're a young couple, young family, still struggling on residency, a resident salary, which was peanuts back in 2003 through to, and we lived in Chicago, so things were expensive. Listen, I met my ex-husband. He was in University of Illinois, so I was in we went to learn together, but he was already in medical school and I was in law school. So we started from scratch. We didn't have anything else. We didn't have anything. So really, we grew up together. But life happens, people, and then family gets involved, and in-law issues, and it's like, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing this. No, I ain't doing it. But when TJ was born, his dad, their dad was already done with residency, was working as an attending physician. He was a ER doctor. So TJ didn't know what it was to struggle. He did not. Like as they directed with us, so TJ's like, hey. I love Mr. Uche. Mr. Uche, were you not the one who said you were like 5 years old when I graduated from law school in Nigeria? I think so. Like, and don't, because I think I said small boy, but I'm just messing with you. Don't take it personal. All right. Although I actually called somebody small boy earlier today because I just really wanted him to just back off. Just leave me the hell alone. Just leave me alone. But anyway, thank you, you guys. I do appreciate that, and I appreciate that we come together. We share stories. We share, joy, victories, support one another, encourage one another, and we come back and we. Oh, okay. You're in secondary school. Okay, yeah. When you finish law school. Yeah, yeah. But I was really young. I was the youngest in. Like I graduated secondary school when I was 15. What's it better? What's smart? Let me tell my own woman. I'm not sounding like TJ. But in this serious, I think I was 2 weeks from turning 16 when I graduated from 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I was the youngest in my class, I think. Yeah, yeah. And now I graduated from Nigerian law school at the age of 23. But then I went back to law school in Mississippi College School of Law after having 2 kids. It was not funny. It was not funny. But we thank God. When I think of early mornings, my grandma will see daycare and then go to school, come back and pick. No, it was a lot. It was a lot. But I was determined. I was determined. And then I had to do the bar exam in Alabama and New York. But anyway, so if we can help you with your immigration cases, once again, 334-341-4475. You already know you're my sister. Like I've already adopted you. My mom has already adopted you. You already told her, like we've already adopted you as sister and granddaughter. Yeah. Oh, somebody told me, someone actually called my office and pretended to be you. I'm not even kidding. They said it was sanctuary. Like, ask them. I told my friend that ask them what the first name is before the sanctuary. Like, first of all, that's not her real name. So I already know you're lying. Yeah, they called the office and I was like, sanctuary. It's like it's your friend sanctuary. Like, oh no. First of all, she has my cell phone number. So she won't call if she needs. Yeah. What people would. I'm telling you, it's not even funny. So I was like, really? So when they called them back, they hung up. But anyway, let me leave you with this tonight. That as you know, let's keep celebrating one another. We just celebrated Mother's Day. Okay, you guys are probably not going to hear me on TikTok. Just celebrating Mother's Day. Let's be let's have the sense of celebrating one another, rejoicing with one another. Because I'm a strong believer in you may not see your own blessings yet. You need to get verified. You may not see your own blessings yet, but in celebrating other people and their blessings and their joys, you're actually, bringing in your own blessings. That's just the way my brain works. That as I celebrate with you, God sees my heart that I rejoice with you, but also know that I'm still waiting in anticipation of that which I'm trusting Him for. So I truly believe that there is a blessing in, you reap what you sow. In sowing, in joy, in gratitude, and celebration of other people's lives, you are building up for yourself, and that time will surely come for you. And so let's just keep going. This craziness going on in Florida, let it be. We have to remember that is man-made law. That's man-made law. That's not from God. God does not discriminate. He does not separate. And I know that our journeys as immigrants has not been the easiest. People die in trying to cross the ocean to get to the United States because they want a better life. If things were just fine in everyone's country, no one is going to. My mom told me there was a time back in the 80s where literally they begged them to come to the United States. You could literally bring Naira into the US and exchange it for dollars. That was how much they needed immigrants. Now you have those immigrants that has made this country, and now you start to treat them this way. But don't let that faze you. It is only man-made law. When God speaks, who dares to go against him? So when he speaks on our behalf, let the people make laws till Jesus comes back. It is going to be the way God intends it to be. And as long as we keep celebrating one another, keep bringing that joy around yourself, because one day we'll all come together and celebrate you as well. Have a good evening, everyone.